Welcome to the jungle.
As we're winding down into the summer, a summer watch list is a must. Whether you're in the mood for fictional crime solving, space adventures, mutants, or technically hellscapes, we have something for you and more. Welcome to CNext. Today, we're ranking the top 10 best new TV shows of 2024 so far. Get your popcorn, ready, set, and let's go.
Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream. Everything he built.
Number 10, The Gentleman.
I used to be in business with your father. I have certain interests I need to discuss with you.
Now what happens down there?
Theo James and K.S. Scodelario, that's it. That's the prompt. But then you stay for the actual plot. The Gentleman tells the story of Eddie Halstead, an aristocrat who inherits his family estate, only to find out that it's home to an entire criminal enterprise, a weed empire, and its roots? Way too deep to take out by himself. The series is set in the same world as Guy Ritchie's original movie of the same name in 2019. It's actually an expansion of Matthew McConaughey and his boss, Michael Pearson's cannabis empire.
Though they appear to be house-joined, don't be deceived by the facade.
Number 9, Three Body Problem.
What happened to them?
Will the sins of our past continue to haunt our future? Short answer, yes. Long answer, when an epidemic of mysterious suicides start, Private Intelligence Officer Clarence Shee tries to save the world. Based on The Three Body Problem by Lynn Sixon, the TV series counterpart tells the story of a world that took technology too far. It's known that Netflix poured fortunes into making this come to the small screen and produced by David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, and Alexander Wu. Yes, the Benioff and Weiss from Game of Thrones. Three Body Problem spans entire decades, generations, and realities.
They are coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Number 8, Masters of the Air.
What's the move? We lead our boys through it.
You need to take in a deep breath before this. Meet the Bloody 100th, an American 8th Air Force Division during World War II, who, well, that's where the need for air comes from. These men were trapped in a B-17 bomber in leather oxygen masks and only had their own eyes to locate their target and pens and papers to make their calculations. As if being in occupied territory and carrying dangerous bombs wasn't enough. Masters of the Air has been in development since 2013, the brainchild of Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. And if nothing else fails, look at the star-studded cast.
We're getting through this, even if the odds are stacked against us.
Number 7, Ripley.
Tom what?
Ripley.
Andrew Scott stepped out of his hot priest cloak and into that of a grifter's, Tom Ripley. Ripley is hired to get a rich man's son to return home. It's an adaptation of the 1955 novel The Talented Mr. Ripley. This Ripley was fighting for his livelihood in New York, one scam at a time, when he was offered this chance: go to Italy to get Dickie Greenleaf to come home. But Dickie, who's leading a picturesque countryside life with Dakota Fanning's Marge Sherwood, doesn't want to come home. What comes next is a series of unfortunate events, stylishly shot, more scams, more cities.
This is what I do for a living. You're interfering. I'd like you to leave.
I bet you would.
Number 6, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live.
I have to keep trying. I won't stop. I'm getting there. I'm getting home.
The Walking Dead is the franchise that just keeps on giving. We've already seen successful sequels that follow the plots of Daryl Dixon, Maggie, and Negan, and now, after the death of Carl, we're seeing where Rick Grimes and McCone stepped off, into a twist. Series executive producer and The Walking Dead Scott M. Gimple already teased the ones who that they aren't completely together once they're together. We know that Rick was saved by the Civic Republic military, and somehow he and McCone aren't completely on the same side.
We are the last light of the world. You have to know that. This is not the answer. It must end.
Number 5, One Day.
After we met, I had a bit of a crush on you.
So what happened to it? This crush.
Get your tissues ready. One Day, based on the original novel and British movie, is just chef's kiss. It is, without being dramatic, a roller coaster of emotions. Like a lot of couples, their relationship spans over a decade. However, it's not as straightforward as it seems. Dexter and Ebba's labyrinthian journey to each other and away from each other, and the poignant and often heart-wrenching moments in between, take the performance Anne Hathaway and Jim Sturgis left and elevated it to a whole new level.
Back in the late 80s, it was all I thought about.
And now?
I thought I finally got rid of you.
Number 4, Baby Reindeer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my stalker. Say hello to Martha.
Don't you say that to me! Apologize to me right now!
It's not this often that a show leaves you baffled, hurting, compelled, traumatized, and with a dropped jaw. The layers upon layers of this are insane. Donnie has a problem. He has a stalker, but it's not as straightforward as that. Martha, played by Jessica Gunning, is obsessed with bartender Donnie, who's played by the actual writer, aka the person whom this happened. For the next few years, Martha stalks Donnie. In real life, because this is based on true events, she sends him over 41,000 emails, over 350 hours worth of voice messages, and actively hurts the people around him. She stalks his house, work, his parents, and his dates. When he eventually went to the police, he was dismissed. What possible conclusion can this stalker story reach?
Look, Martha, just go back home.
I have a sneaky feeling you might be the death of me.
Number 3, X-Men 97.
Believe in each other.
It's a hard knock life for a mutant. You're trying to save a world that both hates and fears you. This newest band of mutants is one of the MCU's best so far. It's even being called the best animated entry of the MCU. It's a bridge between the X-Men's past and future. It picks up from a 1997 cliffhanger where Professor Charles Xavier was nearly killed by Henry Gyrich. Jean Grey and Cyclops are expecting, anti-mutant hysteria is at its strongest, and some of the X-Men, TASS's most memorable and terrifying antagonists, return, such as the Friends of Humanity, Gyrich, Bolivar Trask, his Sentinels, and more. The cameos here alone? Mind-blowing.
Magneto.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
Number 2, Fallout.
You need to go home. You come from a world of rules, of laws. You should not be alone.
This is what happened to Rico after Hannah Montana ended. He ended up in a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles. To escape the Great War of 2077, people have taken to living in underground bunkers. What is lurking outside, you ask? Only radiation, mutants, and bandits. Those bunkers are called vaults, and each one is designed to perform sociological and psychological experiments on its dwellers. Fast forward to the year 2296, and Lucy escapes Vault 33 to the LA wasteland to look for her father. She teams up with a Brotherhood of Steel Squire, aka Aaron Moten or Maximus, and a ghoul bounty hunter, played by Walton Goggins.
Everyone wants to save the world, they just agree on how.
Before we reveal our first pick, let's look at some honorable mentions. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm the Avatar, and I'm gonna save the world. With my friends.
Renegade Nell.
You're going to die, Nellie Jackson.
The Brother's Son.
Mom?
Dead Boy Detectives.
I'm not going back to hell.
Boy Swallows Universe.
Get him out of here.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm just trying to make it better for everyone.
Number 1, Shōgun.
Hear me, my son. I alone will tell you the truth. Death is the only punishment here.
Word on the street that this is what thrillers wish they could be. Shōgun is going to be studied in university classes in the future. That's how brilliant and authentic and well choreographed and utterly brilliant it is. Did we say that already? Based on the 1975 novel by James Clavell, the 10-part adaptation is set in Japan in the year 1600. That's when Japan was on the precipice of war and 250 years of official isolation. We have alliances, betrayals, opaque councils, and at the center of it, an English pilot named John Blackthorne, played by Cosmo Jarvis, who finds himself entrenched in one of Japan's bloodiest conflicts.
Because death can come for us at any moment.
And those are the top 10 best new TV shows of 2024 so far. What did you think? Did we miss one of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell below to be notified of new content. Thanks for watching.